Hello up there. I decided to do a quick video on the political situation in Germany with regards to the election because the voting statistics has revealed something quite extraordinary. I would even say insane. And that's the fact that 47% of all German females below the age of 30 voted for either left or far left parties, which means the carnage that has happened in Germany since Angela Merkel opened up the gates wide to the Middle East and North Africa. That's apparently not enough for 47% of all German females below the age of 30. This is very sad to see, and it's completely insane. Apparently, more Christmas markets needs to be plowed down. There needs to be more mass gropings on New Year's evenings. There must be, more mass raping going on because it's not enough. There has to be more. It's completely nuts. Um, there is a deeper underlying pathological explanation as to why this is happening. And it also explains why you see the same kind of situation in Sweden and in Holland and in Belgium and, you know, France, England, all over Western Europe at this point. And it has to do with left brain and right brain pathology. I'll just simplify the explanation as much as I can. Now, the left brain is primarily where males are anchored. And the left brain is sort of the house of logic and reason and rationality, responsibility. Whereas the right brain, where females are typically anchored, that's where you find, emotions, irrationality, and immaturity. So, what needs to happen is that the left brain, the adult in the relationship, so to speak, needs to set proper boundaries, limits for the right brain to act within. It needs to basically act like a straitjacket on the right brain. Because if it fails to do so, the right brain will run amok completely and destroy everything around itself. And that's basically what we're seeing in Germany right now. We've also seen it in Sweden recently, So there's the same underlying pathology going on here across countries. And now we're seeing it very strongly exemplified in Germany. Now, there's a German commentator. No, actually, he's Austrian, but he's also commenting on German relations. His name is Ralph Scholhammer, and he also has some comment on this. And naturally, he is as flabbergasted about this as I am, and as you should be, because this is basically the end of Germany as we've known it since after World War II. The guy who got voted in as the new chancellor, I forget his name now. He's also a BlackRock attorney, which means he is yet another globalist puppet. So he's there to make sure that nothing changes. So this is basically the end of Germany as we've known it. And there's very, very, very hard times ahead. Because what will usually happen when a left brain fails in containing the right brain of its society, another competing left brain, in this case the Islamic left brain, will move in and eviscerate the failing left brain and take over the right brain of that society. That will be the women. And that process is just beginning. We're seeing it now in various degrees of advancement in Western European countries, but the tendency is the same all over. And it's going to be ugly. It's going to be very ugly. But let's see a couple of clips of Ralph Scholhammer. And you can clearly hear his surprise, and understandably so, because it is absurd. And he also explains that more than a quarter, I think 27% of all German youth voted for the scrapings, the leftovers of the DDR called Die Linke, which is basically the Islamo-socialist woke party of Germany. That's just also completely incomprehensible to me. But the fact remains, the numbers are in. It's just what we're looking at. It's just fact. Let's hear it from Ralph.
47% of all women under the age of 30 voted for either the left or the far left. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. 27% of young people voted for the name is a little confusing. It's called the left. It's really the name Die Linke. They call themselves the left, and they're the actual successor party of the party that primary was in charge of Eastern Germany. And that was primarily driven by, again, the numbers don't lie. It's primarily women. The woke phenomenon, or whatever you want to call it, or liberalism, the ideology of liberalism, is I hope don't take it against me, Natalie, but it's primarily a feminine, a female occurrence. But they're actually openly voting for parties that are in favor of open borders, that are in favor of more immigration, that are in favor of allowing more and more people to come, that are significantly overrepresented in crime statistics. It's very odd. The only explanation I have that it is a form of suicidal empathy. I think that's what the psychologist Gerd Saad uses as a term, or a simpler one, it's a form of Stockholm syndrome.
Now, we cannot only just blame women for this, because we also have males in the monopoly on violence, the order followers, the armed order followers in the police and the military, which are predominantly male. They are the ones who make sure that this suicidal globalist lunacy is implemented in the political system and carried out in society. So the armed order followers of the German state are the ones who act as an insurance policy on the policy of self-destruction being run by the globalists through the puppetized German political establishment class. And it's just very unfortunate to see. Now, as an order follower, if you're a German order follower watching this, and you are opposed to what's going on right now because you can see what it's doing to your country, you should stop selling your masculinity to something that hates you and wants to destroy you. Lay down your guns. Tell them that you refuse to prostitute your masculinity to the forces of malignancy. From now on, it's over. They can buy the masculinity from someone else. Tell them that they can stuff their paycheck, get your severance package, and just stop. Get out. There's no pride and there's no honor in facilitating, ensuring, guaranteeing the complete destruction of your own country. That is no less insane. So it's not just a failure of the right brain in our case, it's also a failure of the left brain. It's, it seems that Germany is completely doomed at this point. And if Germany is to be saved, it will have to be by non-Germans. It will have to be by an outside force moving in and being the adult in the room, because this is just completely insane. Now, I realize that there may be women watching this who'll be like, oh, but that's patriarchy, the left brain. Yeah, well, that's just too bad. Because if what's going on right now is your alternative, well, then I'm sorry, but it's at best second best. Okay? This doesn't cut it, girls. It just doesn't. Grow up or get out. Meaning, stop voting and let us fix this. If you can't do what's right, if you can't act in rational ways in society, especially by the ballot box, leave it to people who know how to fix shit. Okay? Leave it to Mr. Fix-It. Because you're not fixing it. That's for sure. And if you're a German female out there watching this and you voted for one of the establishment parties, in particular the establishment globalist left, we all saw what you did, with the world as the witness. If just a tiny percentage of you had voted for reason and rationality instead, Germany could have been saved. But no, you just had to doom it. This is gonna cost you dearly. It's disgusting. It's a travesty, a tragedy. It's evil-natured, and you did it. You're gonna burn for this, one way or the other. Right now, I'm sort of doing the finishing touch on a script for a bit of a longer video that actually contains a very concrete, step-by-step solution. I guess you could say that it's a template for a personal rebellion against the globalist cabal and what they're doing to our civilization right now. It's a 40-step plan, I believe, and I certainly don't expect people to be able to live out all 40 steps. don't even do that myself. But if enough people practice out this plan in their daily lives, then at some point there's going to be critical mass. And the impact, the collective impact of the sheer volume of people doing this, if it succeeds, will make the globalist project completely implode into its own footprint. It's going to blast them out of the water. Now, I don't know exactly when it's going to be up, but if you like and subscribe this video and hit the notification bell, then you probably won't miss it. And I don't think you should miss it, because we are not going to find a solution through democracy as it is now, for reasons just explained. But there is a way to do this. There is a way to bring this down, and I believe I found it. So I think you should stay in tune, stay in touch, and wait for the video. It's going to be, I don't know, I think it might be like a 20-25 minute endeavor. It's a bit of a lengthy one, but I think it's worth it, and I think you will find it very useful, and I think it's extremely necessary for our entire civilization to do this. And like I said, if enough people do this, it's like a personal program that represents a behavior change, basically, in your society. If enough people do this, the globalists are done. They are absolutely cooked, and they can't do anything about it. So, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and wait for it, because there is a solution, I believe. It's just a matter of having the will to carry it out, and having enough people do it. So, I'll see you soon.